Jake Claver says the TPS means the XRP system isn't ready for general use yet. What can Ripple and the XRP system do to raise this TPS so that they can help everyone? That's what we're going to talk about. From Brad Garley's house, we also have new facts about the $120 trillion business treasury market. Ripple just sent some private data to Swift, which is now being shared with everyone on X Connections. We're going to talk about it. From the ECB, Christine Lagarde also knows some new things about cryptocurrencies. What does that mean? Let's right away raise the TPS a lot. Matt Hamilton actually asked his expert about pigeons because that person knows a lot about them. He worked at Ripple for a long time and helped make the XRPO, as well as the payment channels and sidechains. He said that in order for deals to happen at any time, you need an explicit or implicit subnet on the XRPO. For some reason, Old Bob Way has a patent for an XRPL subnet. That will be able to handle a lot of deals for MasterCard, Visa, and all of these other apps once it's ready. But we do need that subnet to do what we need to do, which is what a lot of people want. Okay? Besides the subnet, is there anything else? This TPS rise in XRP looks like it will be interesting. A lot of changes were made to the XRP ledger's protocol and design in the middle to end of 2025. Now it can handle more than 1,500 transactions per second. Some of these changes are small tweaks to the network, new rules for tokens, and possibly even scalable off-chain connections. Let's get this over with. Throughput was added by experts at Ripple because of changes that shortened the time it took to reach a consensus and sped up the checking of transaction validity. It was around 1,500 TPS in June 2025, with a high point of 3,400 TPS in some heavy loads. The changes make it easier for validators to work together and speed up the closing of the ledger without changing how the XRP ledger is closed. When the changes to privacy and speed came out in October 2025, they made the flow of validators even better. It improved the XRP ledger so that business settlement apps could use it better. And the experts at Ripple said the goal was to keep latency below. As little energy as possible should be used in 5 seconds. Even when the system was being used by a lot of institutions. Didn't we just see Ethereum when the cryptocurrency market crashed on Friday and $19-20 billion in cash was lost? On Ethereum, there were a lot of deals. Now, a transaction on Ethereum costs between $30 and $50, and sometimes even hundreds of dollars. I'm starting to doubt that Ethereum is ready for everyone to turn everything into a coin and store it on Ethereum. Ethereum doesn't look like it will be too long before it's ready for heavy use. Next, let's talk about XRP. In short, this is the multi-purpose ticket, or MPTs. In the last week, I've written a lot about this. The XRP ledger set off the multi-purpose coin standard on October 1st, 2025. If you'd like to take a look, you can. The format had not been changed this much since XLS20 NFT teats. You don't have to make your own smart contracts because the MPT builds features for interchangeable, non-fungible, and mixed assets right into the XRP system. This new style cuts down on network bloat, storage, overhead, floating, footprint, and mistakes in computing, and it speeds up validation while making better use of memory. When MPT transactions go through the ledger system, they are processed just as quickly as other XRP transactions. Early tests of RippleX showed that XRP still works well with the new high MPT issue loads. This is because MPT gets rid of ledger rights and unique token code. Plus, you still need XRP to pay for every MPT move. This is because XRPL is designed to be deflationary and stop spam. Changes like study into zero and private multi-use tokens. Expertise is being looked into as ways to boost scale beyond 3,000 TPS rollups. A lot of things that sound like what Jake said. To try to make TPS better, other things are also going on in the space. Brad Garley House did come out and post this today. The $1 billion deal that Ripple made to buy G Treasury makes it a player in the $120 trillion market for payments and Treasury business payments. I just put out a movie. About noon on Thursday, there will be content that goes into great detail about what all of this means for Ripple and XRP. Also, I'm making a second movie, which I will record right after this one. Come out the same day as this video. We hope it shows some really cool behind-the-scenes stuff going on with G Treasury. What do you think Ripple should do next to go up against JP Morgan? From the steps they've been taking, it looks like they want to go up against the big banks like JP Morgan. It will be very interesting to see how this all turns out. I think you will find what I learned about the next companies that Ripple wants to work with useful. Locked Cowboy said that Ripple buys G Treasury and sets aside $2,000 set up connections with banks and other global financial institutions around the world. Finance teams can share and receive data in real time through direct API, SFTP, host-to-host, and Swift integrations. For over 1,000 clients in 160 countries, these links make it easy to use more than one bank. They go to more than 13,000 banks around the world. Big banks like Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase, HSBC, and Deutsche Bank are part of the network. So are smaller banks in APAC and EMEA such as ANZ, DBS, and BNP Paribas. I also told you that this was the mother low G fund Swift compatibility setting. That's it. This has to do with fast in this case. It works with it. Then Monica Lung says, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I work with Ripple and G Treasury to help businesses move money around the world more quickly and cheaply. Giving them safe, better ways to handle and grow their money is another thing I do to help them. Business all over the world use this Ripple tool. It's huge, risky, and exciting to think that companies could get trillions of dollars in locked-up capital back. Let's leave. Brad Garlinghouse spoke at Week of FinTech. Because you asked me to, I made a movie of the whole talk. You can talk about FedMaster accounts in this movie. Yes, I agree that everybody in the crypto business should follow the same rules for AML, KYC, and OFAC. That is something I want everyone to do. Even the press. Yes. Technology should work the same way a FedMaster account does. You can't say both at the same time. That's not fair or honest. I think we should all tell them that this is not fair to their rivals. That's a thought, though. Chances should be the same for everyone. Shouldn't everyone have an equal chance? Still in our sights. The White House now has a new kind of dinner. You can use Ripple. Trump can get people to give money by holding an event in the White House hall. Getting in must cost $1 million, right? That's a crazy amount of money or plate. Still, it's cool that they're getting money, right? The head of the European Central Bank says Bitcoin will not be used in any EU central bank funds. I don't believe this to be true. I have a question. You usually raise money to run for president again, right? That's what people do in the middle. Trump can't get another term. It's the same as everything else they need money for. What are they trying to get money for? I'm not sure. That might not make sense to me. The head of the European Central Bank has said that Bitcoin will not be added to the bank's funds. You brought up the question of whether Bitcoin should or could be part of the central bank's funds. Believe that everyone at the table, including the governing council and most likely the general attorney, has something to say. Those stocks need to be safe, backed up, and ready to use right away. That they shouldn't have to worry about being accused of other crimes or moving money. And because of this, they know Bitcoins won't end up in the general council's money from any national bank. What I said to my coworker from the Czech Republic went well, and I'll let him say what he wants. At the same time, I'm sure he agrees with me that we all need to have safe, liquid savings. No longer do we need cash. General advice is what she must have said. Then the General Counsel of the European Central Bank.